right? Like, I guess an injury is probably easier to deal with. What the hell was this like?
Yeah, speaking with my coaches and other media and UFC personnel this week, I was like, it was frustrating. Like injuries, you can kind of have a timeline of, all right, you're 4 to 6 weeks out from getting back to stuff. Like I didn't know with COVID, I didn't know. Like it was basically by day that my body strand could do, what else happened. I was on blood thinners, I had pneumonia, I had vertigo. Vertigo was horrible, and the blood clots as well. I was on blood thinners, like I said, for like 4 months. So like I said, it's almost easier to have an injury than having COVID. And I always took COVID serious. If I, obviously people are dying from it, but like I said, I take care of myself. I'm healthy. I rest, I recover, I eat well, very well conditioned. I thought that if I had it, it'd be like a flu bug kind of. Man, it was not a flu bug for me. It was intense, but I think everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why things were removed from my life. Let me focus on other things. And like I said, just 11 months of it wasn't like I was sitting on the couch, laid up. I was training. I was doing things that I couldn't do. If I wasn't able to do martial arts, then I was, jumping on the cycling bike, riding, 50 to 100 miles a day, getting the conditioning up. So I was able to, really, really expand my cardiovascular, load, through that. So I was always training. Like I felt like I never missed a beat when I came right back to the gym. Everything felt good. The movement, the speed, the power, the vision. I just feel like this is the most complete martial artist that I'll be stepping inside this cage on Saturday.
We aren't aware of yet?
Honestly, I feel like I probably had that in my mind when I was going through the COVID experience and the symptoms and the struggles that I was going through. But I kind of put that in the back of my mind. I feel like I had a great doctor that has a lot of resources, that we were checking a lot of things out, bi-weekly, to make sure that my body could withstand, the trauma that goes inside a fight camp. We literally go in and beat the shit out of each other every single day, multiple times a day for 8 to 10 weeks straight, to come inside a cage to fight, to, better our life. So I first and foremost needed to know that my body can withstand that kind of stress level that I was going to put on, to be able to go and put on a 5-round performance. So I just kind of put that into my mind. I feel like I'm healthier than I've ever been. And going through that, like I've never taken my health for granted, especially with the kidney infection that I had prior to 2020. That landed me in the hospital, and leading up to the Sun South fight, the infection came back 10 days before, so I had to go to a IV fusion center and get an antibiotic drip 10 days leading up to the fight. So I've been here before. I've been with some health concerns, and I just know that my body, regenerates pretty well. I'm young. I take care of myself. I'm not out partying, drinking, or doing heavy drugs on the weekend. That's not me. I think that down the road maybe, but as right now, I'm healthy. I feel great. I'm confident. Like I said, I haven't prepared like this probably since even. I don't think I've ever prepared for a fight like this, even with the Cruz fight. The Cruz fight was probably a very, very vigorous training, hard training, and stylistically it was just a different matchup for me. But this is the hardest that I prepared in preparation for a fight, because this is a huge opportunity. I've been here before and it slipped out of my hands. And I know with what a win comes, and I'm prepared for that, and I'm very excited for that. I had pneumonia, and not knowing I had COVID, through this whole process, going, I just felt like I was literally in fight camp fighting for a world title. I was like, this is the grind, this is what happens, no excuses, put the work in, and I started cycling, road cycling. Actually, Vinny Murdoch, who's actually out here on The Ultimate Fighter right now, had a brain, it's Moya, M-O-Y-A, had to have like a brain surgery, so his doctor said he had to do, to help, what would help him heal better would be, doing cardio. Well, I don't like to run. Cycling's cool. You can go a lot of places cycling. Where we're at in Sacramento, American River Trail, there's a lot of bike paths and trails. So I got started cycling, and that's what my doctor said was like, as much as I'm cycling, we were doing, 100-mile rides. Wow. We were putting the work in, it was, 5-6 hours of just nonstop, just grinding on that bike. And that's all I could really do because I had vertigo. So I couldn't really do much MMA. I could do a little bit of it until I started having the onsets of the vertigo and the spins. So the bike, I was just there and just pedaling the legs and the heart and the lungs. And that's what he said, like, I was able to keep my lungs so open that during that, like, a lot of people that had pneumonia like I had it would have been hospitalized on a ventilator. He goes, and the crazy thing is that we were cycling, but we had the cow fires. The smoke index was so heavy. So I just thought it was because we were out there riding, an index of 400 sometimes. We try to get up in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning and go before the smoke rolled in. So I just thought that's why I was having like the wheezing and the shortness of breath from the air quality in Sacramento during that time. So it was just like, then I tested positive for COVID, and I was like, oh man, this should make sense why I felt like this. And like, man, I wasn't trying to, Danny, she always says, like when I get a flu or something, like I'm a big baby about it. So I wasn't trying to complain about it, but man, I was hurting. This shit hurt. I didn't want to complain about shit. And then I had COVID, and I looked back, and I was like, wow, okay, yeah. A couple times, man, there were some nights that I was like really, really in pain with it. Like it really took its toll. But then again, I was training for a world title, so I didn't want to take any time off, and I was just so frustrated. Like, why would what was going on? And obviously testing positive for COVID. Understanding like, all right, well, it's COVID, and this is a virus that's in my body that's affected it so greatly that I have to take the measures of getting healthy.
How much? I think